Alright everyone, today we are going to do a video on some of the crap I've found in my yard lately and a couple of places that I went. It's nothing in particular, I didn't find anything super great. I'm not sure I like this setup, so let's just turn it, put it this way. I felt awkward. I can't really say anything. I was trying to set this up for my YouTube videos, but every time I organize it, the little one just comes up here and destroys it all. So, alright. Using this rickety bucket because everything is super dirty. Coke can, just drinking churros. Yay! Most of this stuff has been cleaned off. I'll just keep it in my bag. It looks like we nailed it twice, which I'm not going to set these down here. I usually just keep the scrap in my bucket. And it ends up going out and being put in the scrap bucket I have outside the house. My little water spray bottle, which I have not had to use yet. Some random, so many random bits and pieces. This is probably the best thing I've found, which is going to be super stupid because it's trash, but let's have can slaw. Shout out to Juice, Plugs for Days, because Can You Dig It? Sorry, not Plugs for Days. I always get the two mixed up. Juice from Can You Dig It? For using the word can slaw, because that is exactly what it is. Can't believe they just run it over in a mower, because we live in a state where everything's supposed to be recycled and reused, and there's a whole lot of not recycling going on if you can't get out before you mow a lawn and make sure you pick up all the cans. But I'm not even sure if it's a can. I'm not even sure that's a can. One piece of weird rusty metal that I ended up digging up. Some random nails. This weird blue thing, which I guess I'm just going to scrape the dirt off into my bucket. Let's just see what it is. And while everybody is very professional at their metal detecting, this is me. Very cheap JP pointer from Amazon, $23. I call it my Gary instead of my Garrett. It's a Gary. I just have it attached on my bucket handle. As I just put everything in my bucket, carry my bucket. I have the lovely garden shovel. That's what I'm using. And of course I've got 2 pairs of gloves. I always have a new pair of gloves thanks to Magnet Fishing. This is also my Magnet Fishing bucket. So, yay for Magnet Fishing, which I threw the magnet in a couple days ago, but the only thing we got was a hook. And we didn't stay very long. We just were scoping the pond out. It's a couple of blocks from my house. And I only went there because I've decided I want to bottle hunt. So if anybody has any tips, lives in, close to Eugene, watches my videos, knows where I might be able to go and find some bottles, that would be a lot more helpful than me going on my adventure, which I did today. Scoped out 2 places. I meddled at the second place, but I also was looking for any signs of bottles. I think this is part of I think this is part of a hospital or some sort of car, truck. That looks like the bed of a truck. I don't know if you can see that. It definitely looks like the bed of a truck. It's only a part. I'm not sure if there's any markings, so I have to really scrub and check, but I don't see anything off the top of it. Okay, so that's that. And we all know I got my clad quarter today. But yes, this is a very rough brush. It's got the copper wire in the middle and the soft bristles on the outside, so I don't use this if I think it's important. But I definitely knew that it was from 2002, but I can't tell what it's a state quarter, and I literally cannot tell what's on it. A race car? Does it say Indiana? Oh, yeah, I get it now. It's from Indiana. Apparently I've not seen this quarter. Then I've got lots of clad regular pennies, no wheat backs, and I believe the oldest one I have is like a 1974. Anything that's eaten away in 2000 and newer that gets eaten because our soil is really bad in my area, I just put in the bucket, and it goes to the scrap bucket as well outside. So don't keep those. They're always pretty much eroding away. This is a 2015 dime. Then I found this can top, which doesn't matter. I'm not going to clean it out. Not even sure what kind of drink that was too. This other can saw. Let's see if we can get anything off of it. No, maybe if it was a soda can or not a soda can, I don't know. Does it look like there's any sort of paint on it, which is kind of weird, but whatever. This door hinge. And another can slide. This is a whole switch. This is a whole can. Squished can. A whole squished can. I've been going to attempt that, but isn't that great? I don't see any silver on it. Or it's paint. Yes, it's completely silver, obviously. Not that I really care what this was, but always hoping, maybe. I was stumbling upon like old dump site. I had a bunch of houses. And while I was getting lots of signals, the ground here has got a layer of rocks about 2, maybe 3 inches down. It depends on what. It depends on how. Some areas I dig, it's right at the surface. And when I say rocks, I don't mean like little tiny pebbles. I mean like rocks. It's absolutely the jaggedy kind of rocks. It's really ridiculous. So in order to get anything deeper, you got to dig about 1 inch of rocks and then get to the rest of the dirt. And it's everywhere that I've digged, especially in lawns. I'm assuming this is, I don't know, this is really a lot more thick than a normal can. But I'm sure it's just some kind of metal can. So I'm not going to clean that either, but then I had this weird thing. Anyway, so it's really hard to get deeper with my garden shovel and stuff. So I pretty much just give up if it's more than 3 or 4 inches down and I hit that rock layer and I don't find it within the rock layer. I don't continue to try to dig under the rock layer. That's too much. It's just too much work. I don't know what this was or is. Yeah, so I don't, I can do it in my own yard. I'll dig down real deep, because, you know, it's easier to make a big hole in your own yard and go with it. But here's the weird thing also about my yard. So my personal yard, has the weird rock layer, but once you get under the rock layer, there's a layer of asphalt in my front yard, all the way through my front yard. We kind of think there's a foundation, and from the maps that I can look up and see, there was a building there, or a house, or, you know, whatever, some sort of structure there in the 1910s and the 1920s, and it's no longer there. Whether or not the asphalt is part of that, I do not know what that is. We don't know. So, although I can dig far, I can't dig under the concrete. And the concrete is got chunks of either metal rocks or something. It's hot, that's all I know. So it sits off my metal detector and my pinpointer. The property that is adjacent to us, which I've been metal detecting as well, is actually part of this property, except it's sold to the same owner, the people that manage my property, my house, and they were supposedly going to build a mobile home park. Guess I just flicked dirt everywhere on it. So we were hoping, they were supposed to break down a long time ago, months ago, and they still haven't, and I was hoping they would, because once they do, I'm going to be going out there when they dig and metal detect, look at the dirt and stuff. But when I dig in that property, it has the weird layer of rocks in some areas, but not all the areas, but there's an old sprinkler system, and when I say old, I mean old. It's like the original copper sprinkler system, and these sprinkler heads are like 6 or 7 inches down in some areas, and they're so close to things. I'm like, why would you put a sprinkler head right next to this? Like, there's literally 2 or 3 sprinkler heads next to the tree. And I'm like, why? So, clearly, I don't know. And those trees, yes, they've been here since, I can see them on the maps all the way back to 1965. So they've been here, and they're huge. Some of the trees on the property are huge. So, while it's easier to metal detect on the other side of the property, I just haven't been finding anything. Then there was a big building on the back side of the property, which they tore down in 2015. 2018? 19? I think it was 2018. And where that building got tore down, they just pretty much left like pieces of metal and like old pipes, and that's where I got the cogs from that I showed in one of my videos. And anyway, so I don't metal detect there. It's full of rocks and it's full of just scrap metal from the building that was there. Then there's another little piece of property and land, but it's so overgrown with weeds. And the neighbor told us that there used to be a park, but no one ever visited the park, so they took it out. But, so I don't know how long ago that was, but I can't metal detect because the weeds are so long, and of course, it's not my job. And I don't have the proper weed whacker to weed whack anywhere other than my yard because I have an electric plug-in weed whacker, so unfortunately, I can't metal detect over there. But anyways, you can see this was my Surge find, and I was so stoked when I pulled it out, which is so stupid. But you know, Surge hasn't been around since, well, they came back for a short time, but has not literally been in stores since I was in high school. So, and that was a long time ago. Long time ago. But so yeah, so I've been metal detecting at the top lots, which, okay, we wonder why everybody calls it that, because it's just a playground to us. I don't know if that's just, I'm not sure if that's a technical term for the playground, but we used to just call it a playground. So anyway, we go to the park, and I metal detect the top lot at 2 of my local parks. Then I questioned someone, and I know every state has their own rules and regulations on metal detecting, so I know it's different for everyone. And I already have a permit from my city, okay? I'm in the state of Oregon, and so I've already looked up the laws. It's very gray and shady in some areas, so they don't really explain to you, you know, where you really can and can't go. I mean, they give you a list of places you cannot go, like there's some historic places and stuff. But there is nothing about churches and schools. And while I just Google churches and schools like metal detecting, it says they're public, so you don't have to get permission to go on the ground, technically. But someone told me that I should be asking, like, superintendent and whatnot. And I'm not sure that I really have to do that. And I did email the church that's on the corner from my house, and no one responded back, of course. And they do a lot of baseball. There's a baseball field, which we cannot metal detect inside the area of the sporting events, places like that. So I can't go directly in the baseball field. Of course, there's plenty of field all the way around the baseball field. And then there's also a tot lot there. And but no one's responded to me, so I haven't been a whole lot of places because I don't really know where to go. And I try to stay close to my house just because it's cheaper on gas and whatnot. But yeah, this is the bottom part of the Surge can. No top part. But I'm going to save the part that says Surge. I'm going to actually do something with that. So, what are you doing? No, don't touch. That little one. Come up here. Yeah, no, start bugging me. You come up here to bug me? Huh? No, you're not touching. No, you're not. Go on. No, go on. right now, I'm going to ask a few questions because I found this and I soaked this in white vinegar, and I'm not sure if that changed the color of this. I'm assuming it's copper. It's super hard. I cannot bend this out. You can see that has gold gild on it in some areas. There is also these little tiny, they look like, I don't know, like if you punch them and then you put like a handle. I thought it was maybe shaped like a bell. I felt like it goes this way. So I'll show you the bottom. And it has a lip on the edge, which would go all the way around if it wasn't squished. But I'm not sure what it is, so if anybody has any ideas what it could be, and also how I should not put this in vinegar, I guess, for if it's copper. I'm not sure if it's copper or bronze. I guess I don't really know my metals that well. So there's also this thing I got, which I'm assuming is brass. It's also very hard. I can't bend it. I'm assuming it didn't make a perfect circle like if it was part of a pipe. Because if it did, then this would match up to that side, and clearly the crack does not match up to this crack right here. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm curious though. Then of course I found a Lego piece. And bullets, casings, and these are just 9mm Luger. And they're in the yard next to us, the big property. Several of them. I just think they're cool, so whatever. Then I have all my clad, super gladness. Oh, and my one nickel, which, okay, why are nickels so hard to find? I don't understand that. I don't understand. Nickels are super hard to find. Pennies are so easy to find. But nothing substantial and super exciting. But question time, which I hope people are going to watch this video, or else I'm going to have to do a live, and I don't know if people will join. But bottle hunting is what I want to do, okay? Old dump sites in your town. If anybody has any more knowledge, I mean, I've watched a ton of videos, I've read a bunch of stuff, and I know people don't want to give up their locations if they know the locations because, you know, everybody wants their treasures. But seriously, I want some help. I don't want to just hike around. It's time consuming, and I have a 2-year-old. And not to mention I have a boyfriend who doesn't want to do it with me. So if anybody wants to help me out. Also, maybe somebody could tell me how you know how old a house is. Like, I don't have any permissions, and I drive around, and I'm like, maybe that house is old. I mean, obviously, I know some houses out in the countryside are going to be old, but local, like, how do you know? It's like, now everybody has a little tag that says 1897 or whatever. Anyway, that's my finds, and that's what I did today. And we'll, as long as it's not raining too hard, probably go check another location tomorrow. And I'm not sure if it'll be metal detecting or me just walking around, hoping I'm gonna find a bottle dump or old trash dump or old city dump and whatnot. But yeah, enjoy. Until next time.